Hello, welcome to Bob's Dungeon. My name's Bob, I'll be your host. In the early 20th century, H.P. Lovecraft was a writer who wrote mostly science fiction and horror stories. Since then, his collective work has come to be known as the Cthulhu mythos. His work has inspired many filmmakers and writers into their craft. And just like that, many filmmakers and writers have expanded upon his original works and have adapted his works into their own. It was only a matter of time before the Cthulhu mythos found its way into a role-playing game. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. The Call of Cthulhu 4th edition. The book has 192 pages and a copyright of 1989. It was published by Chaosism, and all the artwork in this book is in black and white, except for a few full-color page inserts. So let's go ahead and look at that artwork. This is the first photo we see when we first open the book. Just about all of the pictures in this book are in black and white, with some of them being full-page pictures. But they all go a long way to setting a tone for the book. The book also has a few full-page color inserts, which also go a long way to help setting a tone and mood for the game. I've included this last one because to me it's one of the creepiest in the whole book. To play this game, what you'll need is a copy of the core rule book, a 20-sided die, an 8-sided die, and a 6-sided die. The game uses percentiles to work out its skills and stuff, so it would make logical sense that it uses 10-sided dice, but instead it calls for 20-sided dice, and they have a big long thing in here about how to use the 20-sided dice to come up with your percentile rolls. The 8-sided die is used mostly for damage with certain weapons, and the 6-sided dice are used for mostly rolling weapon damage and your attributes. The attributes in this game are strength, constitution, size, intelligence, power, dexterity, appearance, education, and sanity. Each of the attributes kind of has its own way of generating that attribute. Strength and constitution uses 3 6-sided dice to generate what the numbers are. Your size is 2d6 plus 6. Your intelligence is also 2d6 plus 6. Your power is 3d6. Your dexterity is also 3 6-sided dice. Your appearance, 3 6-sided dice. Your education is 3 6-sided dice plus 3. And your sanity starts off at 99 minus your power times 5. Now, at first glance, this game seems very complicated to use and run. It's actually pretty simple. The characters are pretty easy to make out. It runs through it step by step, so you know exactly how your characters are made. The charts aren't that hard to understand, but they do look intimidating. Your characters, I've already run through the ability scores. The hit points for your characters are an average of your size and your constitution added together, divided by 2. The skills in this game are based off of what career you choose. And there's lots of careers in this game that you can choose from criminal to teacher to explorer to homeless, just all kinds of careers in this game. And you pick one of those careers, and they have a list of starting skills for you. And you got to place your points in those. Your points are derived from your education times 15. That'll give you a number of points, and you add those points into the list of skills under your profession. And once you're done, those will be a percentage, those points. And when you use those skills, you basically roll a percentile die. And if you roll equal to or less than however many percent you have in that skill, you are successful. And another thing this game has in character creation is bonus damage. Basically, it takes your size and your strength together and you compare it to a chart and it gives you some bonus damage that you can do in melee combat. Experience in this game is kind of weird. As you play the game, you put a check by each of the skills you've used successfully. At the end of the game master can allow you to make a experience check on those skills. And you have to roll greater than the percentage you have on that skill. And if you do so, you get a d6 percentage added to that skill permanently, which is kind of nifty, I guess. The other thing, one of the main mechanics in this game that makes it interesting is your sanity rating. And as you learn more about the Cthulhu mythos in this game and run into different creatures that are horrors beyond comprehension, your sanity is going to drop. And basically, the higher your sanity rating, the more sound you are mentally. And the lower your sanity rating, the more useless your character becomes. Which is a sanity of 1 is pretty much a blubbering idiot because he's so far gone in his mind from the horrors he's witnessed in this game that he's pretty much done. The game is pretty simple in the way it's laid out. The whole thing is based in the early 20th century. And most of the charts and stuff you'll find, the cost for equipment and everything, will be based in the 1920s. Which is kind of cool. That's when most of his stories took place. There is a chapter in here that'll give you a few scenarios of running the game, stories you can use. There's a chapter in here on the different creatures you'll find in the Cthulhu mythos, along with gods and stuff. And there is a separate chart for creatures, which consists of average everyday animals, such as cows, alligators, dogs, cats. And because they're not technically part of the Cthulhu mythos, it also has vampires, mummies, and stuff like that in with normal creatures. Kind of weird, but this book is pretty cool. There is all kinds of stuff in here for you to use to put you in the mindset of the 1920s. Stories, poems, news clippings, timelines, everything you'll need to play in the 1920s in this game. The back of this book is full of charts and maps of key locations that you'd find in the Cthulhu mythos. One of the neat things about this book is they have a pull-out in the back of the book, which has a size comparison for different creatures written about in the H.P. Lovecraft stories, which is kind of neat. And it's got a few comics in here, something silly, just depending on what you're in the mood for. And it's pretty detailed for what it is. It's got everything you'll need to play the game in this one book. And that was really all I got to say. Brings me to 3 questions. Would I play a character in this game? Yes, I would. I love the H.P. Lovecraft stories, and I love the horror and insanity that this book would give me. Would I run this game? Yes, I would. Like I said, I like H.P. Lovecraft, and the book is pretty simple to use. once you get used to it. It looks intimidating, but it's not. And I would like to run it. Would I recommend this game? If you're looking for a good horror game that has a lot to do with losing your mind, this would be the book for you. This would be a good book to use. And like I said, don't let it intimidate you with how it's laid out and the charts. It's actually a lot simpler than it looks. And that's really all I got to say about the 4th edition of Call of Cthulhu. Thank you for joining me at this look at the Call of Cthulhu. And hopefully you'll join me next time where I'll talk about something else. Bye.